Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LPL 2025 Split 2.
So we've seen it a little bit in this split, much in the same way that we've kind of seen a bunch of laners go towards Grasp. It's surprisingly decent damage in lane, and it gives you better sustain than Fleet Footwork does nowadays. Was also, then again, giving you some extra HP to work through the rest of the game with. Now, of course, you don't get as much value against a ranged champion, but in that case, it's less about the HP stacking in a melee versus melee matchup, and more about just that sustain of, okay, it heals you basically if you're missing HP.
Big time. Still, the range versus melee match, it does get a bit obnoxious all the way. While that's really the case right now, because obviously the Shy ended up in that. And we had to do that little flash away, and they have lane swapped out of it just early on. Again, the Kalista Renata is starting to get to that point where the early shove isn't as problematic to manage. Yes, we Karma notoriously great before first back, and then afterwards, very dependent on how those first few levels went. We get interrupted here on the reset. They're going to interrupt that one. They have got bailouts to work with here. They might look for a dive here, actually. There goes the bailout. Handshake gets a bit of a snap. Tree Shot Barrage comes on down. Gala's got the bailout to work with. They will lose one to the tower at the back end of it. Ura's coming on over. Gala going to try and find a way to hop around. JJ's coming, but he's going to have to leave it. And it ends up being a 1-for-1 in sorts.
Yeah, Gala and Maker can't pull off the dive quickly enough to get out. JJ will have to now hop over, goes to the W, but the charm's not cast yet.
Does miss the charm and ends up hitting a minion. Slightly awkward there. So you twisting your head a little bit disappointed in that angle.
Well, it's more of a Dragon Xiaohu will come over. Tien been the real core of this early game so far. Gala and Maker tried their hands at a dive. They've fallen a bit of gold behind Light Air here. That's some summoners going forward. Maker doesn't have flash, doesn't have the cholesterol either. Flash forward from Light. You pull out the hostile takeover. I don't think it's going to be enough, and indeed it won't. But luckily, his teammate picks up a kill before he goes down.
Nicely done. That makes that the 1-for-1. Both supports end up falling down. I shouldn't have said anything about Era, should I? There we go. That was my fault.
Well, it's not even a new trick. It's an old dog with an old trick, knowing that, they pulled this one on me before. Going to be the bot lane tower being taken by IG, shared between the Aurora and the Callista. Tell me in chat, would you prefer there be Sab Carp or Rena Turn? you tell us.
What was going on?
Out of all
the games of the Rift.
Of all the top lanes they had to walk into, they had to walk into mine. The third seed, and of course sending them down to the lower bracket where they ended up losing on this very stage, their home arena. JDG going out the earliest possible opportunity for themselves on their home stage. And Weibo were part of the architects of that. IG on the other side. Farming doesn't seem to cut it, as Shy might have to show off his legendary deeds, and Lubu do it again.
This fort is looking a little empty, but he's going to TP out the Grand Escape. They can't get him range. Xiaohu ults to no avail. Curse you, Shy.
And Weibo, they will not find their man, but they will find the turret using the Herald, and that'll charge in towards the top lane inner turret. Rookie might look for a sweep on mid lane, though, if Light overstays. Light, knowing that he's on the right side of the map, though, to stay safe, and won't leave himself open to it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take the L, which is very appropriate considering his name.
Hongming is the guy that did that, by the way. The ultimate, the ultimate aura farmer.
That's exactly it. I mean, off the side of the map, this should be a fairly easy day because Tien at this point, I think, can just solo. He's got 2 items.
Yeah, they are walking up the river, but with the teammates walking over, IG won't be able to contest. They, pushing up in that mid lane, already took that mid lane out to turret, even enough in gold. IG not really in a position to fight this, though. Rookie could teleport up, choosing not to. Atacon freely over to Web. It's not the biggest loss ever. It's not the biggest objective. It does help a little bit, but it's not the end of things.
No, it's not. Sure. We'll eviscerate away, get some value in. Mako gonna find a really good angle for the hostile takeover. What a flank. What about the turnaround, though? They didn't actually manage to get as much follow-up as I think they were hoping for. Fate's Call now out. Are running into the issue of having absolutely no reasonable CC and have done nothing.
This crowd is not controlled. This is a free-flowing crowd. No one is getting CC'd. There's like a charm, a cyclone, and a whole lot of mobility to get out of it. Yep. You place yourself. Honestly, chat, this is a very good thought experiment. I think it teaches
the Atacon.
Xiaohu might go toward the charm.
Into the charm. Gala gonna flash. Wonderful angle on the Ari. Gets so much value here in the Orb of Deception after A+ stuff.
Awesome from Xiaohu. Gets a very quick 2-item spike. The Horizon Focus being an incredible stat stick for this moment in time. And Gala and Mako, despite the fact that there is very little that can catch them out, still managed to by over-pushing in the mid lane. Great punish by Xiaohu. And, yeah, if we have...
Banshee's fell second or heading towards got the Verdant Barrier. This basically means that who stops is Ari going for plays like that again? She is so hard to lock down at this point. to just get to melee range of everyone.
No, and when we were saying, hey, not that much engage in this comp, I think Xiaohu has made a good call here to say, look, I can be the engage, give me some defenses on slot 3, and we can get some value. Stuff like this, you can potentially buy the Callisto ultimate, half HP already, there it is, it's gone. Xiaohu, the architect of that again.
Now he ult's looking to get around the back end of this, threatening Mako, who's so damn low. The Aurora ult is good, though, from the Shy. But the hostile taker tries to come on through, they're getting some damage back. The bailout comes through, it means absolutely nothing. Gala is having a festival at his own expense, as Xiaohu resets again and again and again. The Shy really wishes he was a bit more nervous. Does at least take one down on the way out. Doesn't have enough cooldowns, gets hit by the Q. And Light will arcane shift forwards to get a bit more value. JJ at least survives with the call of the pack, but everybody else is in a mass grave.
Wonderful last few minutes of play from Xiaohu. Back in 2022, I thought he was one of the 2 best Ahri players in the world alongside Faker. And a lot of it was because at that time, she was an initiation bot. You traded your HP, you put your body on the line, and you looked to get those plays started. It's exactly the same he's doing now here on the Ahri, looking
for... gets to keep running it. And the Shy, at the very least, does get one on the way out. Then Light, flash for the Essence Bug, hits the Q. That resets the Arcane Shift. Straight all skill, as you would say. Xiaohu looking for more. Still got 2 charges on the ult. There's the Redemption coming on down, but happy enough to have earned a few more cooldowns. And at this point in the game as well, with all this ability haste, I really don't think Xiaohu's ult's going to be on that longer cooldown.
Nope. At this point in the game, I think it's something like it'll get 1 near the end of the timer. You basically get like a 5-second cooldown, all things said and done.
Rookie about to get run at here. Will slide away, hit by the needles though, and actually going to get hit again. There's no quite ghost yet for Rookie, but he's run out of cooldown. He's just going to die here, surely. Does manage to get away with 5% HP, but Tien's coming on down. He's far too fast in the river with all of that water walking available to him. Jesus wishes. And Tien gonna think about starting your forwards. All right, Rookie tries to get something at the back end of this, knowing he's not getting out.
Yep, not giving it over to Tien. Just saying, okay, one of you can get the kill. I ain't giving assist gold over. Baron on the other side of the map, not started by IG, not in position to do so. They're so far behind now. They're against the Soul Point. They do have a Callisto, which typically would be very good at stacking Baron. However, in this case, you're on red side, which makes it harder to play around the Baron because you're stuck with the wall at your back against a longer range composition with the Ahri and the Ezreal. And Tien finds out the Shy.
The Shy gonna get Nimbus struck afterwards, trying to run away. Is doing a fairly decent job, but there comes the Smite slow at the end of it all, just to ensure that the Wukong will not be denied. One of the stickiest champions in the game. Can't run away from that. Hard CC means that's what you're kind of obligated into.
I was actually quite surprised that Xiaohu didn't look for the ult there. You know, he had the Banshees up, he's level 16 with ultimate, it's not a long cooldown. Dragon now up at a minute 30, IG not wanting to give the Ocean Soul over, of course. People don't have any choice about it. They have to pray for a massive overstep from Weibo, and they can get their own resets onto someone. Rookie jumping forwards in the mid lane. Air caught out. This is not bad, actually. No one really in position to follow up. That's a good pick from IG just before the Dragon score.
Gala's flashing on forwards, looking for an angle. Just get jumped on as Tien has to try and turn around. It's a really big true shot barrage. The hostile takeover is solid. Xiaohu gets hit by it. Needs to run away, but gets one on the way out. Got another ult charge to work with. IG actually pretty low at the back end of this all the while in the base, they're losing inhibitors.
IG gets some really good picks there. Killing Wukong for the first time in the game, getting Air down as well. Brief does get the inhib, but you know, IG, they get a little more out of that than I thought.
Gonna get that reset off, and now Light's kind of trapped here. Call of the pod, sorry, Hunt Pursuit.
Wow, that's a lot of damage. Whoa!
Light just doesn't care, and he murders him.
Insane from Light. Manages to hop over the dogs to get a clean Q shot. Often Ezreal not good into Neferi because the dogs block it. Light, awesome combo. The press, the attack burst, insane there, and kills Jejet now before the Dragon. IG had a brief window where they can make a play, lose their jungle actually, to get across the other side of the dogs. Clean from Light. Wasn't even close there, Jejet got exploded.
There goes the Dragon. Secure by back end of this. Looking to see whether he can start this because IG are going to rush the Baron. TP's now coming on in. Here comes the rest of the gaming. Mako needs to be a little bit afraid. Rookie goes golden. Gala at 2/3. Make that 1/3 HP as Xiaohu needs to back out over the wall. He's got one ult charge remaining. Looking for the charm angle. Misses it. Baron be allowed to reset. IG can't get the value they're hoping for. Super Minions now in the base.
Yeah, they are. At least it's on top side, which makes it a little easier to clear that out than walk towards Baron. But Weibo say, well, you'd have to send someone back towards the base. You don't have that luxury now. And we were saying, look, Xiaohu has basically no ult cooldown. It'll be up again in about 15 seconds. Ult pull through from the Aurora.
Got that one. That's the reset for this Neferi. Nexus Turret 1 is about to fall. Has done so. They need to reset. They need to get out of here. And they're not. They're still stuck around. Rookie has gone back. Has got the TP to rejoin the fight should he need to.
Xiaohu missed the charm flash there, but has the ultimate up in a few seconds. All it will really take now is one bit of CC landing. Teleport back in towards the Baron now after one wave has been cleared. IG realize we have to go now with this slim advantage. The Shy gets a good chunk.
Does indeed. Tien chunked out low. Not necessarily be going out as yet. There goes the Baron being started and run down. Too much to deal with there. Try and jump a little bit further forward. The needles come on out. Reef getting some damage. Does get shuffled back, but not putting a lot of damage. Good steal in secure by Xie to ensure that the Baron goes their way. Gala will try to bounce the way around and will fail to do so. The Baron was secured at the cost of 2.
Cost of 2, which means they will probably lose another in here anyway. I don't think you can defend, and as we were talking about before, the Ahri ultimate kind of just decorative at this point. Is basically always available. Weibo will take the 2 kills and see if they can break the base before IG can defend it with the Baron buff.
Basically got no wave clear as well. It's Aurora or bust at this point. Ballista, the Deer being down for the count makes this very tricky indeed. Mako about to be jumped at here by Tien potentially. Inhibitor number 2 does fall.
There's no cholesterol for the Aurora, for the Renata either teleporting in. There's only one Nexus turret. They're just going to end.
Shy tries to throw to between worlds, get some damage down. The hostile takeover is solid, but Light just isn't taking any meaningful damage. They don't have the engage, they don't have the CC, and they sure as hell don't have the damage. Nexus now under siege, and Weibo Gaming may lose the Baron, but they'll take the Nexus in trade.
IG fell behind. Don't have a Braum shield, an equalizer, and Lucian goes down very quickly. You don't have the damage to turn that around now.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, things like Cassandra going all out.
Everything.
That is
absolutely everything. The full build Poppy. So like, look, the biggest casters in the world who have the most eyes and ears on them do get to. Hang on a second. This is the full build Poppy.
There's the dive on into the Rune Prison as well. Xiaohu's in so much trouble, and he is dead to rights. Nice play in mid lane.
It did full build, but as prophesized. Poppy, I'll get you. He was the tennis player. Boris, what's his name?
Oh.
Yeah, one of the huge tennis players of the 80s. Dragon has been started up. We actually didn't get a test over. Well, we do have a level 6 Poppy now, actually. JJ ahead and oh yeah, the Poppy level 6. This means that they can, even if they don't want to fight, can pull that ultimate, see if they can force the smite out and get the contest for free.
To do it, and comes some damage.
Oh, great wall stun.
Massive damage from that wall stun. Galio does come in and try to keep people alive. TM fails to flash out, but Galio will get traded. Turnaround damage beginning to come on through. So 1-for-1 as it stands. Importantly, Gala is the one that died versus Tien though, so there's no smite available right now, making this a bit of an interesting one. She should be able to secure this with that smite and does so. The Winds of War will nicely timed, but it won't turn into anything.
Really good play from Jejep. Last game was diffed by Tien pretty hard, but this time get to kill it. Minutes till Dragon. Have you talked about that? Have I?
No.
Cool. Right, okay, that one's a safe topic. Cool. You can tell our active listening definitely goes through the drain when we get up early and we have to cast many games of League of Legends. Minutes told that. Of course, no flash on Xiaohu now is going to be impactful for that. The Shy also not going to have flash. Does he teleport towards top side and just match breathe because neither of them have teleport? Erha going forwards, catching out Gala.
Fair damage down. Does to stand and deliver though as Era does finally get the Magnet Storm down. Gala about to find himself in danger. Does get turned around on though as Rise finally begins to unleash. Bullet time. Wonderful angle into the Keeper's verdict. Keeps them locked up there in the waves of firepower. Xiaohu now needs to back away, but where does he run except into a wall courtesy of a little shove from Xie.
It's the blue side aura. IG. Playing so different to that first game, cleanly finding engages. I really think Rookie, who's pulling the Realm Warp, has been such an impact in this early game. Has Cleanse and Flash. Lights, very nearly going down. Ooh. Rookie flashing forward, can't quite confirm the kill.
Look in there, it was a little bit far, but hey, Rookie's feeling it. 3-0 and 2. Yep. Looking a lot more confident than the Azir last game where it felt pretty hard to play.
I think a lot of people think of Rise as a scaling pick, and he is. I think early game Rise is incredibly potent, though. Speaking of that, he's probably recalling. Zenith Blade will just stop her from, well, it will stop the recalls, though, will her, so he's still happy with that. Dragon Startup wasn't, of course, taken in that last play. But yeah, the early game of Rise, now particularly on this patch, with a combo went from 40% bonus damage to 60%. Very, very powerful. Going to find a little bit of that because he doesn't have flash. He's been stopping recalls, and instead finding a quick way home himself.
That was great from Era. And again, this is a player we had a lot of love for a couple series back, but he has been known to be a little bit flippy looking for the big plays and oversteps his bounds there pretty heavily. He's rightly punished. Yeah. Dragon goes the way of Weibo.
Yeah, against any much better time for himself on the Misfortune compared to the Callisto of last game. Playing picture-in-picture. Breathe trying to look for a 1v1. Does get some decent damage, but misses a Q. And the Shy will pick up a kill onto Breathe.
It's work there. He just gets to stand and deliver with a little bit of assistance from his Rise and Poppy. And in fairness, I'm looking at this now, and this Rise is so damn scary. to start split pushing away. He's got a couple grubs to his name as well. Rise, not necessarily the best turret taker per se, but he's quite a good side laner because of his mobility and survivability. He's about to face check a Pantheon though, and that might be a little less fun. Begins to run away quite fast with the phase rush. I believe he gets speed off his passive as well. I forget exactly what Ryan's passive does in its entirety, but there we go. Xiaohu is caught in the red side. How are you here? Why are you here? He was by Krunks!
My dude, there is smoke and mirrors, and then there's blowing smoke up your... okay, whatever. Xiaohu, dying in the enemy jungle, 0-3. As Weibo... The wheels have come off the train at this point, and other such analogies too. That Grand Starfall coming in mid lane, but again, it's a snatch and grab play. Mako has flash. It's a bullet time getting good damage down. Yes, the E comes through from the Pantheon, but Gala and Mako winning out largely in the 2v3.
Huge value there as they just find themselves a lot of gold ahead generally.
Yeah,
4k up this early on. It's brutal.
I'm sorry, guys. Roam up in towards topside. That'll just be to collect the wave, no extra. Rel was meant to be like 16, so that feels bad for
She's
him.
34 now.
Which is not right, by the way. It's like the fact that they just retconned that is such a huge difference. Anyway, Breed missing that Q3. There is a Pantheon on top, but Poppy's here to stop him.
Yeah, now looking topside to potentially shield vault onto Rookie. Deus shield vault, but here comes the keeper's verdict to the rule knocked away.
Wait, Xiaohu's in trouble now.
Oh, Xiaohu, no! The verdict is death.
He thought he'd have teammates, folks. He thought he'd have teammates. And JJ hits the eject button. Like one of those really weird Pokemon comps with Dynamax. Whatever, that was the whole few metas away. JJ has been utterly unleashed in the pop. He can even go behind top lane if he wants to do an extra kind of round to Breathe there. Breathe, I'm not sure you want this fight.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Alt where my teammates left once again.
Breathe, you are not safe to be here. Mako's here now.
Oh, he's all out. Go on. Take those trading weights off. Here comes Era. Let's go, value. They shut down Rookie. That's actually fairly significant. Mako now in danger as the Culling comes on through. Trying to get the kill. Can't quite get it as the minions are in the way.
Okay, that time Breathe could go for it. My mistake. I wasn't watching the minimap. The Cardinal Seal of it, Sin of Everything, does have flash. Might be able to go to Mako. Mako doesn't flash early. Flashes late instead and dies. 2 quick kills for Weibo.
Massive value there, as they will manage to nab away a turret as well. That's the bounty. The problem is Gala's in the mid lane with a Herald working, so he should be able to drive forward towards the second turret. Does so. That means tier 2 likely going to fall here, though I think Xiaohu probably does have just enough wave clear to deny that. 30 seconds on Dragon. Tien ulting in, looking for an angle, can't quite do it. And the attempted punish on the shove through mid doesn't happen.
So Weibo, do you manage to get some gold? Top lane turret? Sit back and be aware of the reality of the situation. Dragon now going into IG. That would be their second. And Weibo, not sure they'll look into another play like that again in terms of the cleanup after that play.
Where do we find ourselves right now? And it ain't getting any easier. Again, about to get jumped on. Does have breathe around. She just slides away the big bugs. Shield vault forwards. Lights now around. And I think they might have gone a little too deep here. Mako does manage to get some value there with the Zenith Blade. The Keeper's Verdict knocks one away, namely the Pantheon, which is actually a fair amount of damage. Turn around from area. In comes the Hero's Entrance. Mako now in danger. Going to get caught in the Equalizer, though, and the bullet time is brutalizing. 2 additional members down. Xiaohu getting burned alive as Light trying to try it up best he can. Rookie flashing on out. Gets shoved into the wall. Does Breathe as GHA gets on a triple kill to Gala's misfortune. GHA still hunting as he puts down a hammer shot and backs away. Man, this misfortune just untouched. Got to auto. And the love taps are a bit too much for anyone else to handle. We're in this bit of a lull state before Baron spawns. Atakan is available, but we've all seen people go around that. Though that said, IG are kind of on it and getting it for free. It's a nice win more objective. It'll get them a fair number of extra petals. We're actually pretty even in that point. It's been a relatively bloody game, so change things around. They got 31 of them. Charging the wall there. Just Tien is actually now in a lot of danger as he's caught on the Equalizer as well. That's really important. He tried to zone people off and ends up getting blown up himself. The solar flare afterwards fantastic as Rookie spell fluxes and gets the phase rush dancing on through. Xiao gets a brief taunt, but all the while on the other side, the Shy does die out to Breathe. Not bad in a 1v3 from the Cassante to at least get something back, but will die nonetheless.
Still a 3-for-1, and Light is alive, I suppose, but with bullet time still available, it's not really like he can jump forwards and do that much, especially when he's still 2,000 gold down as well. IG have been much better in the team fights this game. They've been able to keep Gala safe. Rookie has been...
I saw the results of KT DK earlier and some Wildness occurred as well. We just get lots of that in certain teams of League of Legends.
The funny thing for me is, like, hang on a second, Mako's gonna get caught out here. Does have flash and ults.
He's tanky right now, but the Eclipse finally runs out. Solar Flare's down on the bullet time. Again, in a good angle, but TN managed to take up a lot of it.
Oh,
Right
the equalizer!
The equalizer afterwards is absolute phenomenon. TN is roasted Pantheon. Xiaohu comes on in, but there's no one there to save the hero's entrance. Is a decade late. Breeze flashed over the wall, but so does the Shy. Looking for the flames, but it gets into the base gate. Actually, fair amount of damage. The Shy's got way too deep, but they get that kill. But the health was so low. Last auto and the double up, not quite enough. Shushu is flashed on in. He wants to keep going. This Poppy has long passed full build and will not need to use any more of their power.
So it's somehow only a 1-for-1, but given that they started out with like a brief 1v5 by Mako on the front line, Mako makes it out without using flash, setting up for another bullet time, which was wonderfully layered with the equalizer as well. That will open up third dragon for IG. There will be a teleport in from Xiaohu, but he's still 1 and 5, no ultimate. He can't help that much. And look, he had to walk up to look for something. Instead, he just finds his death. It's another kill, which will make the dragon even easier to take. Yet again, third dragon cleanly taken here by IG.
Dragon taken by IG. Soul point, and at this point, the game
IG starting the full court press. Don't have access to Baron yet, but don't really need it, honestly.
Decent shove on forwards there. Turret, about half AP. Knocked into the wall is Mako. Solar Flare comes on down. Damage back is solid. Quite enough.
Breathe. Yeah, the one person with the gold lead, much harder to use it. Much harder to use. You can see in plays like that. So there's a realm warp onto mid lane, equalizer to slow him down. Chose the right place to decide. Oh my god, he's exploded.
Oh, don't blame him looking. Here comes the hero's entrance. Fagala just flashes away every time they try Fagala. He's got his flash up. They can't consistently keep earning his life. Gets hit and goes down. The Thornbound Atacon begins to pop. And a last member goes down. Another kill over to Gala, who's picked up nearly everybody this last couple fights, it feels like.
Weibo schooled IG in the first game. Jet and Gala diffed really by Tien. And like, of course, Xiaohu in the mid lane as well. Fantastic Ari game in game 1. Game 2, flip it the other way around. You know, I think Jet has been magnificent on the Poppy. I think Rookie, 8, 1, and 10 on the rise. You can see why this pick is so powerful on 25-11 with the combo buffs and everything else. Kind of tangentially working to make him a very strong champion, with the AP item changes still kind of working fairly well in his favor.
To the color theorem, this is a blue game, Alex, and therefore we know that blue side will always win. Tien getting jumped on here. Solar Flare comes on down the Zenith Blade afterwards and gets some damage down to the Aegis. Salt means very little indeed. Era on a deep flank here. Where is the damage? Can they look for this? Era's going to go looking. Trying to jump onto Gala. Remember, has no flash. Gets stuck in here, but doesn't really take all that much meaningful damage. They don't have any way to actually threaten Gala through all the front line. Down goes Era again. Golden goes the Shy. Stays alive. Light flashes to no avail. He is snuffed out.
Rookie untouched in the fight, machine gunning as Gala brings the extra artillery as well. All guns firing. IG, another clean combo. Weibo have not been able to cancel, I don't think, a single bullet time in this game. I've not seen a single cancelled bullet time. Mid lane, 10-1-11. AD carry, 9-1 and 10. Well, why not throw in the jungle as well? 2-0-19. Good overall team performance from IG. They'll take the Baron easily. And Weibo, they stats. But it also means that your first auto attack on someone slaps them very hard with the Deadmans and the extra crit as well from the Thunder Sky. Turret's going to fall down, IG. This is the victory lap. They'll be pushing in. Weibo, they will just have to choose where they die and exactly how. Don't really have a choice about that. Besides it, good stop on the dash back, and it's been an end to a torrid game for Xiao, who just about makes it out and retains a 1-6 scoreline rather than 1-7.
0-7 on the rail as well. It's not been pretty. The Nexus turret under siege. Light eats a single double up and loses half his HP bar. My god, that misfortune is Federa. Caught on the equalizer, burns out the Shy, gets a double. As his ultimate feels a bit of a lie. There's nothing equal about that damage, that's for sure. It's been IG favored from minute 1. And the snowball careens into Weibo's Nexus. IG will even up the series.
Early saving grace. No one got a Pensa. Felt like it was the kind of game where they could. They'll run one onto the Nexus for the party trick. Positions finally, folks. They have laning phase. They have team fight. They have range. They have engage. They have damage. Now it's a little strange that we do have the Zyra coming through. It is the
They have played some interesting games. The Mako has had a killer time on this Alistair. He has been so good at this champion for so long. That win rate does not surprise me.
It's his career most played champion alongside the Braum. Sadly, not been able to keep up his Thresh play rate because Thresh has been kind of garbage since 2022. We haven't seen that one for a long way. And someone asked in chat, why is the Shy so popular? Mako, of course, being another one of these players too. But why is the Shy so popular out of all these players in a league with Bin and Jackie Love? Bluntly put, because the Shy won the first World Championship for the LPL. Let's see if we double in, actually, if we want to summon it. Hang on a second, punt backwards, ahead. He's played safely here.
Nice damage back, and Era just helps get that one going down in favor of Mako, who just presses the heal, and the Rakan dies very early on at the level 2. The Shy now in danger top side. Flash away, gets the last rights healing, hit by the deadly spines, and the plants won't quite get it. Last auto will do the work, though.
Breathe. Tanking that tower up, and Tien gets himself a, well, the Zyra Classic.
What you want to be doing on the map. Grub number 1 was just secured by Weibo Gaming. They are currently doing the rest of them. JJ going to go hunting with the Swell Seed, won't quite find it. And a nice attempt there from Mako to try and headbutt Era into the Swell Seed, but won't quite do it. And all 3 grubs are indeed picked up by Weibo.
Of course, another strength of that Zyra, so good at clearing through them, so that'll be used effectively. I am worried for the Shy. Fallen behind in this early matchup. No grubs to help him out with the split push and pressure, so IG can't. So IG can't. I'm not going to pull the ultimate air. Going forwards, healed, blown. Charm lands.
Deadly flourish out as well, into double pulverize as well. So good trading, but now I think Mako just can't really go anywhere. And Era just hit the level 6 as well. Valiant effort.
But look at this. Look where the wave is. This was set up by Breathe. It's still side one good set of wave management, and they make that into a whole series of plays. But, you know, Breathe, he's not going to be able to do that well in the 1v1 versus the Yorick still. You still don't win that very well. But he's wave clearing out well enough, making sure that the plate doesn't get taken easily here. And he'll do his best.
Decent chunk there. Maiden gets Roar of the Slayer into the turret. Nice from Breathe. And there goes the wife. Can we kill the wife? The answer was yes, you can. JJ going to be on this Scuttle Crab. She's got to pick this up. Tien is there with Era. Mako also around to end. Potentially a 3v3 around this side. Yorick zoning on up towards the top side. Too much there. There go the teleports becoming unleashed. Have their full power.
Why did that sound slightly like as if Palpatine was played by Schwarzenegger? It's unlimited power.
Unleashed.
It's treason then.
It's treason then, yeah. Have you ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Has flash, has teleport. If the plant comes through in here, it will cancel the recall. Needs to get in quick though. Shy cancels the recall. I wonder if he would have been safe. He's very dead now.
He's going to try his best. Flashes away from the plant for a second with the Stranglethorns come on down. The Dark Procession's nice, but unfortunately Breathe isn't taking aggro.
Blows the flash and dies. No one was helping him in that lane coming over. Tien, of course, on the Zyra. Very good at clear. Hang on a second. Headbutt back maybe.
Pulverize, headbutt back into the shockwave combo, very clean. And that means a very dead Era who's going to bleed out to the Dream Dust.
Oh, really nice combo maker. Finding the angle to get a full duration of CC. Shockwave afterwards, and Airhead goes down very easily. Shockwave helping combo, using the ult to tank the tower now. Oh, it's a fail flash!
And that's going to be a very dead Xiao Hu as our lilting Lullaby comes on down. And unfortunately for him, that Lullaby is the sweet, sweet release of death.
Good response on the other side of the map from IG, losing out in the Yorick matchup, which will be a problem for them. He even teleports in. Sign coming up to wave clear. Dark Procession stops the wave clear coming through.
But not as willing to fight right now.
IG, perhaps with that in mind, goes towards the dragon again. Tien does not want to be the first person into River, using the plants to be pseudo wards. One of the things about Zyra versus, hang on, they're jumping into the bit. Xiao does have Valkyrie, don't manage to steal it. Tien not wanting to, well, can't go board, doesn't have that flash. What do they do instead, though? They've done a bit of Safari and get hit by the W.
Era will try and keep people alive with the quickness. The Stranglethorns come on through, but again, they really are just trying to dissuade people coming on in. Already they've lost their jungler. In comes Breather with a wonderful decimating smash. Mako flashes away, doesn't die. Nice combo. JJ now trading out onto Breathe, who doesn't enjoy trading with the Lilia at all. Light, Era, both low, both have to flash. The Dark Procession comes on out.
Tien was the first person into the play again, gets caught an IG pounce. Weibo didn't look for a cross map. They failed to take the fight and lose the dragon. IG, significant advantage now on the red positions now. One, of course, you can look for the team fights. Big shockwave onto the Zyra. Zyra will need his Zonies at some point.
Yeah.
But if you're not getting good gold, that can be...
You've got to be aware that people are hunting around for you, and he is in fact safe. That ward placement, I think, ended up giving him a little bit of a clue about what's happening. Mid lane, looking at Gala holding alone. Dragon has just spawned, and it is going to be Weibo who are in the river first.
Bree's going to back, look for a second item before this play. Hullbreaker built up for Scion, so it's much more about, you know, empowering his cannon minions. Hullbreaker does give you more team fight value, and by the way, folks, now every 5th auto attack does extra damage. Pain in the ass. I want to see how much value Weibo get out of their double range, potentially triple range if Corki joins as well composition. Shaku does have teleport. Not going to teleport in quite just yet, though. Harold's going to go in towards the mid lane. I don't think it full kills. It's going to get close, though. Oh, I'm wrong. There it goes. The buffs to the Herald meant that the first charge does a lot more value than it did earlier in the season and, of course, in years past.
Damage there onto the turrets as well, as they do get Corki getting that top side shove as well. Good work there from Shahu, but IG in the jungle looking to get to soul point here relatively rapidly. It would also be feats of strength for them, I believe. ETN try and get in there and steal, doesn't want to burn the flash and dive for it, so it does end up being IG getting themselves to soul point and feats of strength. Echo,
extended flank, blows the flash, realizes that he's the jig is up. Weibo, give up a dragon, give up the soul point, the Chemtech soul points for side lane farm towers. This time they actually do cross map. My problem is, they probably should have done this for second dragon when they lost the dragon and the fight afterwards. Realistically, you probably should have just been elsewhere on the map. For this one, feels like now by giving over the third dragon, now you're in a bit of a worry. Because, yeah, now you're against that soul point. I know it's Chemtech, it's not always the most valuable, but when you have extra healing and shielding power from the base Chemtech dragons, the second one there, 6%, that does technically apply towards Yorick's Q heal, which can be a real pain on Orianna's shielding as well. Atacon started up. Weibo tanking the objective. You don't really want to be doing that. They want to be poking. Taking this down for now, though. How good of engage can IG find?
Looking for sure. Down at half HP. Atacon.
But I think IG can now start this now. Half HP on Light and Airhurt. It's been leashed as well. I think they can go towards this. IG maybe now a little afraid of the poke coming back towards him. But yeah, this has now been leashed, and Weibo maybe have just taken too much damage.
He's going to try and step forward down to 4 HP. TN in the pit, though, and we're going to have a bit of a flip back again. JJ going to turn this one into a smite fight. Secured by Regard. That's Spellbook. But the Lilia comes on down. Spellbook value on the smite. Caught me off guard, certainly caught IG off guard. Fight after, getting ugly as Breed needs to try and back out here. The curtain's being called. Lilting Lullaby has also hit Light as he was hit by the Deadly Flourish, and this makes things very interesting indeed as Light needs to cleanse away, dodging a lot of those shots. Is just about alive, but not very healthy as the Shy behind, keeping them trapped under the turret. There's nowhere to run, it's fish in a barrel, and the Shy will send their last right towards the Morning Mist. Comes on down, sanctifying their ground they lay in, and the Cemetery Keeper ensures there's enough freshly dug holes to put all the bodies in.
IG take the leash on the Atacon to find a fight. Now, they don't get the objective itself, but I don't think they'll care that much about it. They've won every fight in this game so far, and Weibo, I feel like by tanking the Atacon and losing so much HP, they invited this in themselves. They've struggled to play on the macro. They've given up most of the objectives.
Build anymore.
Yeah, he's got the boomstick. So, IG, all he needs to do is find another fight. How do they do that? JJ has Flash. Doesn't have the, wasn't bullet yet, the Seekers. Dragging up in less than a minute now. Weibo getting pushed in on bot side. That's not going to help them that much. Baron is available if Weibo wants to start it with the Zyra, I guess. They could say, okay, well, you go towards that Baron. We have the Zyra, kills it very quickly. Rookie might look for a shockwave instead. The sleep lands!
And they're going to be trapped, eating Baron damage. That's just filthy.
Disgusting. Jungler dies just before the dragon spawns by trying to get Baron vision. This is one of the reasons why AP junglers, like the Karthus, the Zyra, the Brand, fell out of meta as well, too. They're not strong enough to just do tons of damage to you. You pick them off when they go for the warding, and IG say, well, we don't need the dragon now, let's go Baron.
Hit by the singular swell seed, it aggro Baron. Lullaby into shockwave and you're dead. That's true of most people, it has to be said. Baron is going to get melted in real time. Taken away, flank angle now potentially over this wall. Watch for it. Mako looking for the Mega Blast Cone. Can look for the headbutt. Gets Breed into the wall. Not the best target ever. Felt like a good angle, but can't quite get as much value as they're hoping. But there's the flash. Pulverized. Xiaohu going to flash away in trade. Quickness comes on down. The curtains are called. Xiaohu needs to Valkyrie out to safety. Not the best angle. Not always Gala's most fantastic options this game, but the damage still done. Breeze needs to try and breathe a little bit longer, but unfortunately there is no respirator to keep him up and functioning. He turns into a zombie and they'll pull the plug.
Tien's alive, so there is a smite available for the dragon. Not going to be allowed over there though. Doesn't have a flash to get over the wall if you want to go for some crazy steal attempt. IG in the last few minutes, basically ever since the second dragon have taken over this game, Weibo not had an answer to the Yorick, not been able to get ahead in lanes, not been able, with the speed boost from the double zeal items, you don't escape the Jhin now. And yeah, you will have problem. Hang on a second, Xiao double engage over onto Rookie.
Shockwave onto Xiaohu though. Oh my days, that damage. Swirl Seed lands as well. Lilting Lullaby. He'll be going to a long, long nap. Breed once again on life support. But he isn't doing all that well here. Tries to throw out a decimating smash, and really it's only like a one-part smash. There's no 10 people dying. Anyway, they'll back away as the Maiden does go down. The Shy loses it.
The Senti smash.
The
Centimating smash.
The centimating smash.
Okay, so that will be top bot turret taken down. IG, I think this is the point where they at least break the base. They might break the game here as well. Gala is so strong. One more bit of CC lands, a Jhin W, something like that. The game could just end after this point. Weibo, you have a little bit of wave clear left, but against the Baron buff, that means a lot less. It's a 7,000 gold power play. 7,000 gold power play. One of the largest I've ever seen.
Get so many turrets. They get themselves into a massive position. The curtains are called lights now in danger, trying to clear the bloody wave. Hit with number 3. Full shot doesn't hurt that much right now with HP bars being a little too high.
So, last inhibitor standing as top lane. IG pushing that in. Yeah, the wave clear, I don't think it's going to be enough even with the Baron buff down. Now Tien hit once again. Mako hanging out around the flank. All 5 members of IG on top side here. They really want this turret. I think they'll get it for free.
Will do. Get the Deadly Flourish down. Continuing to throw some autos out. Good work from them. Gala loses half their HP bar, but it's not the end of the world there.
Doesn't do that much damage to the side. He's hitting the one person he actually doesn't do damage to in this game. Has the last Whisper, so has some extra kill threat onto them, but not nearly as much without a full item completed off of that.
He's fast.
He's very fast. Every auto attack gives him the speed boost. I am the fast, screams Jhin, the old Earth build coming back to fruition. Breed trying to hold a front line, but what can you do? You've got to wave clear the other lanes as well. It's a real pain.
For a champion that's notoriously immobile, Jhin is actually quite frustrating to get a hold of. Gala just keeps fleet footwork, autoing around, continuing to get some trades on down, gets a massive pop onto Light, cleanses some more. Breed doing his best to hold the line as JJ throws out some blooming blows. The Shy in the backside gets the shockwave after on top of JJ. Breed nowhere to go. Throw out a decimating smash, and instead Gala will execute him. Has a 4th shot. Was able to flash away. My days, Breed does some damage. Does get a little bit of healing there. Is actually they're going maybe a little deep there, folks.
You know what? I don't think they care. Xiaohu's the only member left alive now. Yes, there's a low HP boss. I don't think it will matter.
Take a bow of Xiaohu. The copter goes up into the air and is swiftly shot out by the flat cannon of Gala. IG win a red side game. 10-0-3 is the Jhin.
Their game 1 draft was poor. They're 2-3. And now 4, I like a lot more. Weibo have a quadruple melee composition into a Sejuani, into a Xayah, into a Bard, and that one I won't contest. But yeah, Enchanters in LPL, always a little bit of a harder question. Level 6 hit by Rookie heading down towards the Dragon right now. Tien walking over. I don't think this is a free play for Tien, actually.
He doesn't get hit by the center part of the Haymaker there. Does a decent job of trading back with the hypercharge shots. Tien gets the pillar. The Shy is so dead now. Nice pillar angle from Tien.
You get the smite.
You can try flashing for it. Going to get the smite secure now. The turnaround comes on through. Tien's in danger, but they got the face breaker to make it a bit more interesting. Rookie slides away though. Makes it a 2-for-1 in the end in favor of Weibo, but they did get the dragon at IG.
They did. Tien, of course, going forwards, looking for the smite. Couldn't secure it. Such a difficult conversation topic to broach for them. Breed going to wave clear on top side, but not really much for him to do.
To run away. The Tempered Fate catches him. Oh, it's T1 Bard as well. That's just salt in the wound. Breed just about sliding away there. He'll get out to safety, but had to burn the flash. How much further can Rookie go? They heal to make it happen as Breed goes in, and it's not quite enough. He does go down.
Yeah, Mako's the one that takes aggro, which means that the CC onto the Shy matters less. Breed, an extended escape does delay. What that does mean is that Silas has to hit the bot side. Remember, they have the 3 grubs. They'll still get plates, but the plate comes in.
Gala isn't here. JJ interrupting light means no easy route in. The Shy, I think, is going to try and execute someone. Where does Mako go? He's going to die. Oh, IG, how has this one worked out? Rookie
uses a little bit of some mobility, but the W pinging from the Kai'Sa means it's not just 1 dead, likely 2. Rookie dies. It's a solo kill from somehow also the Shy dies because Tien gets a kill there. So 2 solo kills, 3 I think as well actually. So 3 different members of Weibo getting
towards the dragon they go. They get a shock blast down there onto Tien, who does eat a bit more damage. Continue trying to chunk out as many things as they can here and get some good value in and where it's available. Gala gets pulled back by the face breaker into the haymaker, but the tempered face falls the flashes as GJ ends up caught in it, unfortunately.
Oh, Shy.
And that's after Shy in a 1v2 as they tried to split the play.
Just say, hang on. Ult stolen in topside Xiaohu, 1v1ing his old rival in Rookie.
Oh, nice rebinding of the Soul. We'll turn that one around well enough. Chain Lash comes on through Rookie. He's going to be forced to back away on that one. And the Dragon secured there is a little bit unfortunate in that team fight from Invictus game.
The Shy's positioning must be so pinpoint right there. He's trying to be a part of the play, but he's on a flank so separated that IG can't save him from top jungle. Another great pillar. Tunnel through this time, but Gala can't escape.
Can get in, but does get a good route. Well, barrier as well. Both summoners now blown. Doesn't blow the ult, interestingly.
Yeah, Light chooses not to follow up and trade ult for ults. Pillars from Tien have been great. His Trundle has been excellent from when we've seen it. Tien, a man on a mission here for Weibo. Top lane turret for Xiaohu as he won out the trade against Rookie. 1,000 gold up now on the Yone.
30 CS up as well after a couple deaths now from Rookie. Or at least a couple forced back. Just got to clear up some of that in the bot side at the very least, so it won't be quite as egregious as it looks right now, but still a bit frustrating for this unit that have been having some good moments before the last 5 minutes or so, where some of the team play has caught them out. Nice chunk there from Rookie, trades well, going to get him buffered back, rebinds the Soul, looking to get on to breathe. Everyone is down here. Another Q3 comes on through. Comes on through. It's a wonderful face breaker. Shijay's staying alive for a second, but Yone is already dead. They lose the jungler. The Shy is TP'd in, but it's now a 2v3 for the Skies to go as Light will flash to the other side, so go and get forced back to the turret. Flash away from Mako, buys him die. The Haymaker lands, but over comes Gala. Looking to let's remember, he doesn't have a flash or a barrier. And there is Xiaohu, and they get another Weibo. Just cleaner on the collapses again.
And they're going to die under the turret. Xiaohu can reset aggro with Desire ultimate. He's going to go in and just use it for the kill. Double over towards Xiaohu as the Shy. Oh, the Shy, you are in a big amount of danger.
Tries to clear the wave and dies for it. No way out. Goes out in an honourable fashion. 4,000 gold lead to Weibo Gaming, who brutalised the bot side fight.
IG took a 3-kill advantage in the top side a little earlier, but that's only kills.
As we see the replay, Xiaohu comes back on over with the Hex Gates. Gets on into the picture-in-picture. The Shy's in danger. Avoids the public execution, but the pillar still comes on down regardless, and there's nowhere to run. Has got a flash, doesn't burn it. Where do you go? He's 1 and 5 now on this Jace.
It's a hard draft to play. Yes, the Silas will die. That's an important kill over on the other side. Xiaohu getting shut down. Good gold over to IG. What's happening with their objectives? Nothing up right now, which means that Breather's free to push in here. They don't have any grubs, which makes it harder to play around that. Hang on, Air's now caught out too as well. Not a bad face breaker, but he'll definitely die here. Trying to walk forward for a face breaker. Problem with Set though, once you run out of summoner's mobility, easy kills over there. Jeje gets a ton of gold. He was behind almost an extra 1,000 gold ahead of this. Weibo give over another 2 kills and their shutdowns too. IG clawing back something. Mid lane turret now focused by Weibo. They'll take an objective too. IG test are on the top side of the map instead. I think both teams realize, aha, objective is spotting. They'll never expect us to make a play on the other side of the map, except they have done.
Look for something more. Good chunk there onto Breathe, who does now eat a lot of damage. Doesn't quite get hit by the permafrost though, which would have been a nice chunk. Rookie pretty low here. Still trying to keep running on out. Doesn't have the flash. Public execution after flash, but well buffered through-ish by the Fate Seal. But the Showstopper comes on through. The Tempered Fate does by a fair amount of time. Will allow a lot of things to wear him out. The Redemption comes on through. Rookie finally falls. Xiaohu goes golden. Permafrost not quite triggered. But they try to keep people alive and just can't do it.
IG, they choose not to pull the trigger on the teleport from the Jace. Herald Summon topside, that will be the inner turret going down, and perhaps a Trundle Pillar will make things interesting too. On the other side, the Shy using the 3 grubs.
For the chomp, he's now quite deep. Glacial Prison afterwards, can't quite kill him. Gala flashing away, the barrier comes on down. Oh, the binding! It's glorious. Into the backline goes Light with the killer instinct, trying to cleanse away, but he needs to run further. Flash away into the Herald. He's gonna get out. Absolute siege. Tien's still here. The Shy is TP'd in. Will Shock Blast 1. How much further can Light get out? He's on no HP and somehow escaped with the Herald. That is unbelievable.
The getaway driver once again. LPL has made a bit of a habit of using the Herald as an escape vehicle. The Shy, however, during all of this, still gets that bot lane turret. What a series of mechanical plays across that last fight. Airher, not a bad ult coming through, but Mako's contribution in that play was absolutely sublime. Makes that a play absolutely playable as opposed to what it was before. Dragon is still up and available. Both teams could potentially angle towards that. The Shy getting another turret on top side. Got a kill there as well. Of course, onto, I believe it was Tien in the back end of the play. Gets both sides.
Important that. That makes this Jace quite scary now. They'll look to play around this dragon. It's not the end of the world if they give this one up, honestly, IG. They can afford to wait a little bit longer. JJ has now got the Randuins as well. You've got 2 items. Largely everywhere but Rookie.
Yeah, so Dragon goes down. They don't have teleports, though, which means that gold lead on the Jace is not there right now. They need to avoid a fight until he can get back into position. I think what Jace should do is maybe push up mid lane, get one more wave there, and see if they can get towards the Atakan, unless they want to contest this. They don't really have the vision for this, though.
Giving up 2 objectives kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. They have no way to put wards down very easy, and it is just gone. Would have been very challenging. I think that is the way. They're going to potentially come and threat Mako there, who will cancel the reset briefly, but isn't caught out.
I think Weibo were, angling around.
Rookie eats some Qs. Try and trade this one back-ish.
Breathe can ult him.
He's got JJ coming down. That's why they're trying to do it. They're trying to keep Breathe interested. Misses the Mortal Steel part 3. Public Execution in. Still has the flash to work with and the fate sealed. So it's always going to be a hard wask for the side of Breathe, who keep looking forward. Refines the soul. Nicely done by Rookie. Even from the deficit, Breathe will likely just die here to the feathers. Deadly Plumage does its work.
Fancy footwork from Rookie. They layer the CC, keep Rookie out of melee range. Trundle can definitely tank this for a long time. Has a lot of armor to keep this. Jeja is over the wall. They blue trinket it. On the other side, the solo laners, both with teleport taking Dragon.
It's not being taken quite fast enough. I think they feel like they can walk. They have another wall. No, they don't.
Steal.
Get it in!
The ultimate!
Can they buy his body? Can be a very good it! JJ is the absolute king of thieves! Another steal for the man in the jungle for Invictus Gaming.
Jeja wins those. Another clutch late game smite. One thing you can always count on is Jeja's smite key.
Just never let him in the pit. He does it again. He can't keep getting away with it. Yeah, he does. The Shy will flash away. He needs to be a bit wary of Tien getting a run at him. Is on the frozen domain. Tien has to flash out, gets too hypey, looking to get something back in the game. Breathe and Xiao Hu now here. The hijack Glacial Prison. Can't find a good angle though, and they will magical journey away. Baron buffs circling their bodies.
I can't believe Jeja does it again. I can't believe that Weibo let them get away with
suddenly
that. Weibo, they can't push in across the map in the way that they want. Let's not walk into that, folks.
Tien, I'm not sure about that one. Glacial Prison lands. Hasn't yet to be able to press the Subjugate key. Cosmic Binding afterwards. Tempered Fate lands on down, but that's put JJ in a difficult position. Has got a Ghost to roll with if he needs to. I apologize. It's a TP. I'm getting confused by the Smite. The Summoner Spellbook on the Sejuani. Confuzzling me for a second or two. Yeah. The dizziness ends for a second.
Not the best. Well, that was the Silas Temper Fate, which helped out with that, of course. And Mega still has his own. I was like, why would he cast it there? It's Xiao Hu, which stole it beforehand. I'd missed that one. Shock Blast landing. The Shy using some of his gold lead now, and the 3 grows making it much easier to take the turrets.
Frozen Domain required there. Tien, just enough move speed to get out, or he would have been in serious trouble.
Yeah, I see some confusion in chat as well. I also thought Mako was inting. It wasn't him. It was Xiao Hu saving his own jungler with the stolen Tempered Fate. IG walk away. 4,000 Baron power plate, getting themselves a lot more even across the board. Silas no longer with a almost 2,000 gold lead himself just yet. Not going to be completely hammering down on the Trundle. Dragon spawning now.
Nico needs to be a little wary, but it's all well and good.
Red belt used to block the Celestial opposition. Walking into the river, Dragon started.
Eyes on Rookie as well. He just picked up an Infinity Edge, has managed to basically
the Shiny needs to be so careful. The Shiny needs to be so careful. Here we go.
Has to dodge quite a lot. Trying to speed himself up, but that acceleration gate and the footwork is phenomenal. Now in a 4v3 on the other side, damage being done. Dragon still started up by Rookie, who is managing to stack the Q3. Shove back into the massive Showmaker. They'll try and make them battle as the Fate Seal comes on through. Damage back is solid. Trying to get a hold of the set, but they're still doing a lot of damage as Rookie goes back into the base. So down low, they're winning the play. Look at the Shy who's still alive. Tien finally rooted up, doing some work as he gets the Permafrost stacked on top of the Shy very low. Not going to get any more value as the Cosmic Drive comes on through. Rookie is resetting. They killed Gala, but somehow the rest of IG survive.
Weibo, get the Dragon. That could have been the play they needed. Teleport back in. They're trying to complete the play.
Back step from Breathe. Will now begin to Drakehound step away. Pillar does not keep JJ out necessarily, but they can't get the last 2 members.
Tien is very hard to kill. He is very, very hard to kill. It's the reason why they walk away with more recent days. IG not able to get a quick revenge Baron for the Dragon going over. Weibo behind a little bit in gold, but oh man, how powerful is this Trundle? Has the ultimate up again, level 16, will steal so many resists from JJ. It's going down, it's gone.
There we go. Tien now potentially at the front line has thrown down Subject Veil. The public execution of the backside gets Breathe on him, but the other side, Rookie with the Fate sealed. Tempered Fate after leaves people in a really tricky position. Xiao needs to get away. Has still got the hijack Fate seal. Ura gets a face break in front of by time for his team. Is in danger. Flash to the skies onto Tien. The magical journey. Hello, Troll. Weak the rest of the team. IG go on forward and claim that one. Xiao who's clearing the wave to prevent the Baron shove.
Xiaohu trying to take a wave to make sure that the game doesn't end here. Needs to E over the wall. Does he have a quick reset? I think he does just about. Won't have that interrupted. Weibo lose the Baron and lose 3 members. He'll get the recall in time. He'll get it in time. He's safe. He's out. Didn't put that shock blast down. Xiaohu gets out safely.
Got very worried there because the Shy had read it right. Just doesn't quite find him. All the while the rookie playing on the other side here will get a hold of this tier 2. Swing, 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 swing. And murders that one down.
He gets that top lane inner. Punished the Jason. It worked well. However, haven't been able to do that for forever. He's now almost full build. He's going to be almost 2 items over Breathe. 1.5 items with that amount of gold. And IG, they might just have clutched it through JJ's Smite Keep, through the Baron Steal. IG get caught a little bit there. Stolen Temper Fate, not enough.
Trying to buy some time. Xiaohu looking for the playmaking. The King of Spring about to be dethroned. Another Temper Fate. Show them exactly how he's done. Arrow will show stopper to the backside. Gala goes up into the air. Featherfall. Flash. Mako alive. Redemption and heal. Into the backside goes Xiao trying to get some value. He does get some. He goes golden. To the backside. Gala throwing out as many feathers as he can. Xiaohu up into the air with the stolen. The hijacked Feather Storm. But the feathers won't give him the wings. Homo Fugue. The wings melt off Icarus. Hits the dirt. Weibo are going home. IG have done it. Breathe and Tien must hold the line against 3. Desperation as the Baron minions crash, fall into the turrets. 1 down. Permafrost, and on ice goes the troll. Ice in his veins. His natural habitat looking too much even for him.
IG, so long they have gone without results, will finally return to top 4 in the LPL. They will await the winner of Top Esports and WE, the super team, knocked out in the first round of Winter.